This is my third attempt, and the subject of this Facebook Live is how life experiences in horse journey. And I had a couple of things I wanted to talk about, but one of them wasn't this, which is being focused and determined on getting a result, and but not being shy about walking away from it. And this was going to be my final attempt, and if it works, this is great. If it doesn't work, then I'm off to do something a little bit more interesting, like go and feed the horses. Um, so first of all, I want to thank everybody for the messages that they sent to me, wondering where I was. And I know I've been doing Facebook Lives now daily for the last couple of weeks. I haven't been for the last few days. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of background why I was doing them and why now I'm not doing them. I've been working with a coach called Christiane Witt, and she's on Facebook, and you should check her out. She supports and mentors horse women and encourages them to find their voice and to break out from the silence some of us feel. And the challenge was, because one of my things is going live and being very visible on this medium. So the challenge was to go live daily for 2 weeks, and it was an exercise really in desensitization, I guess. And by the end of it, I was actually feeling more comfortable with it. I have to say, each time I press the live button, I still have that take a breath and have to steel myself to proceed, if you like. And I think that gave me an insight in how sometimes the process with horses is also part of that, allowing them to, giving them a challenge that's going to be on the surface difficult, but you know, as the coach, that if they get past that, then all good things happen. And it is being authentic and honest and clear with those intentions that allows the horse to trust us, to take them past that stepping stone, if you like, into something bigger and better that then grows into something bigger and better again. So for me, that task of going live daily to break the fear, if you like, to desensitize myself from the technology, and even though it hasn't really worked very well this morning, and I'm sure there might be a little bit of a delay in the internet connection, allowing the imperfections. So I often say to people, don't let perfection get in the way of the good. It's not particularly my quote, I've heard it on many occasions, but it's one thing that I do say to my students. And I think you have to learn to also say it to yourself when you're challenged. So I can see that there's a delay in the photos as on the video as I'm speaking, and whether that's going to transpire in the live video, I don't know. But I have to let that go to allow my message to be delivered. And that's, I think, something that's very key when you're working with your horses. As long as the message is delivered honestly and as clear as possible and with good intent, the trust that they show to take on that message and to work with you with your message will be seen. So I'm not going to be doing daily lives now for the future. It's just not sustainable with my life, having to manage the revival herd, the preservation herd of the Spanish Mustangs here at Windchaser Ranches is a full-time job, and then I have my coaching and mentoring, which is a full-time job, and but somebody's got to feed the habit, if you like, so that they feed the horses. So I'm going to be reducing it a little bit and go perhaps like have a midweek musings of a Mustanger and do the Sunday brunch which will be obviously a more detailed and longer line. And I hope that is something that you will share with me and come along and hold my hand. The other thing that happened to me this week, which I think is even more important, certainly for me as a human being, but certainly will have a very deep impact on my interactions with the horses, is just a little bit of a backstory. I am an introvert, and I find social situations not easy. I'm very happy and very confident to stand in the middle of an arena around pen or paddock and talk and own the space when asked about horses and my experiences in teaching and the mentoring, and there I'm really comfortable. It's a subject that I think, conversed in as much as, although I'm still learning and I'm still on my journey. And I love sharing the knowledge that I have. So there's a deep joy in that. But in a regular social setting, I find myself a little shut down. So I'm there physically, but I'm not necessarily there emotionally. And a few days ago, I was in a social situation and there was a woman there who kept looking at me, and I've never met her before, and she's a friend of a friend, so she doesn't live here in Spain, she was visiting. She doesn't speak English, I don't speak her language. And I found myself at a table talking to our mutual friend, and she was asking about the horse and the baby and our project, and so I began to open up and I began to speak and express myself on a subject that I find passionate. And at one point, through her husband, who did speak some English, this woman asked me, why is it that I am so comfortable around horses and yet not so comfortable around people? Now bear in mind, I've never met this woman before. She doesn't know me. And at that moment, I felt seen. It was almost like a physical blow, not blown back, but just inside there was like this real physical pounding that somebody that I didn't know, that I couldn't communicate with one-to-one through a verbal language, through language skills, they were irrelevant, saw me at that moment, how I was feeling. So she not only saw me, she felt me, and she expressed it to me in a way that I felt I had the ability to open up and become vulnerable with her, a complete stranger. And it made me think about how horses feel. I spend a lot of time, particularly with horses that are shut down. I call it like an unlocking process because there is so many layers to it. And the relief I felt in that moment that it was okay to be shut down, it was okay to feel the way I felt, and that somebody saw it, it made me consider how horses feel when we see them, when we feel them, when we allow them to express themselves in that moment the way they want to express themselves. So just think about that. I felt seen, suddenly comfortable in a social situation, and was able to have a conversation with this woman who was intently connected on a level that I experience rarely with people, particularly people that I don't know, that I've never met. And it's my hope that when I see the horses that I deal with, and when I feel the horses that I deal with, that they feel that same relief, that almost that the pressure cooker of tension that I have to be this, and I have to feel this, and I have to do this. But suddenly it was okay at that moment to be shut down, and she asked me, in the way she was and her energy, to open up just a little bit. And by the end of the evening, when we were leaving, I could say goodbye to her on a level of intimacy. She gave me this hug, and she really held me. It wasn't like the usual kiss on two cheeks, nice to meet you, knowing we'll probably never see each other again, so as soon as you walk out the door you become slightly irrelevant. She held me. And again, I want the horses in my life, and I'm hoping that what I'm saying here has some effect on the horses that you have around you, and your horses, and how you see them. I want them to feel seen and heard, and I want them to understand that the moment you leave, that they are still relevant, that you're not just saying, okay, that's over now, I'm busy doing something else, and it's gone. The impact that she had on me I think that the impact that she had on me will remain with me forever. It might not necessarily be at the forefront of my mind all the time. It has been in these last few days, but it will remain with me. And I'm hoping that the horses I work with, and hopefully if you can take this feeling through to the horses that you are working with, that they are left with a sense of, wow, that was a really good experience. And it goes back to that saying, if your presence makes no difference, then your absence never will. And you want them to see you again and say, oh yeah, I missed you, I missed that, I missed our interaction, I missed our communication. Thank you for letting me express myself. It made me think that maybe, just maybe, that introverted entertainers are the foundation for good equine mentors. I don't know, maybe. So that's what I'm going to leave with you today, which is actually a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. So although it's not midweek, this will be some sort of midweek musings of a Mustanger. And yeah, I hope you got value from that, and I hope you take it away and give it some thought. I would love to hear your thoughts on the subject and how your lives are impacting your horses. Over in the Rewild Your Horse Spirit group at the moment, there is a discussion beginning on empowerment, which I've seen a couple of comments which I'm going to go back and read in detail because they look really interesting and hopefully will activate a conversation there. So that is the end of my live today, and I hope that you all got something out of it, and take care. Thanks for listening, and welcome to my shed, and welcome back next time to my shed. Take care. Bye bye.